everybody. Now I apologize if I'm a little bit out of breath. I just completed a 20-mile bike ride, and as I was riding back I thought I have to film this video about what's next to me here, and that is what's called a Jaspr, and it's an air filter, but it's a very different air filter. I've had this for about a week now, so it's still early days. I am going to review this in much more detail a little bit further down the line once I've used these filters for a little bit longer, probably about 3 or 4 weeks. The reason why I wanted to do this video a little bit more prematurely though is because I've just completed this 20-mile bike ride, and it's been quite different to the rides that I've done before. Let me give you a bit of a backstory. When I was younger, as a baby, I almost died of croup, rushed to the hospital in an ambulance, and I had asthma pretty bad up until the age of like 25. I was on medication, Becotide, Seretide, Ventolin, etc. And I've had pneumonia on a couple of occasions, and the worst of it was when I had COVID. I had long COVID, and my wife said to me, "You have got to go to the hospital." I'm pretty old school and stubborn like that. Went to the doctor. He did a scan on me, on my chest and all that sort of stuff. And as I was driving home, they called me up and said, "We've just got your results. Turn around, come back in." And they said I was like 2% away from being on a ventilator, because the scarring of my lungs were that bad. And ever since then, I feel that my lungs have just never healed. Far from it, actually. I've since got like a halo, which is like a salt sanctuary that goes in my sauna to help with my lungs and the repairing of those lungs. It's very hard to repair lungs. But anyway, all that to be said, I've used this Jaspr air filters upstairs and downstairs in my home. Over the past, say, 6 weeks or so, we've had really bad wildfires here in Idaho. We just had some bad fires the last couple of days. They weren't forest, but they were on the fields very close to Boise and very close to homes. A couple of my friends had to evacuate. Luckily, thank God, they're absolutely fine. Their homes are fine, but the air quality has been horrendous. I would never know now. Like when we had the forest fires before, it was bad for myself, my wife, neighbors, everybody. Since we've had these fires recently, I would have never have known other than seeing the ash outside, because the air quality in here, both downstairs and upstairs, has been perfect, because I'm really surprised how many little tiny particles this is able to pick up. If there's fireworks outside, it'll pick it up. If somebody's smoking outside, it'll pick it up. And you'll see, because there's a monitor on the top. Let me show you. Actually, I've got you on a tripod here. But it will show you, whoops, what the air quality is like. So it has a 2.5 per, I think that's per meter particles. I'll have to look into that a little bit more. Air quality is excellent at the moment. I can put the speed up here just with a little tap, or I put it on smart mode. That's what I've usually got it on, smart mode. So that will be low, but if there's, say, air quality is bad outside, let's say because of the forest fires, that will automatically increase just to clear the air. Occasionally what I'll do is put it on turbo for about 15 to say 30 minutes throughout the day, usually when I'm out, because it does make a lot more noise, just to really boost and clear the air when I'm gone. When I pop out and come back in, it just gives it a real big boost, especially when the air quality is bad outside. But at the moment, it's done a really good job. But for the most part, I've got it on smart mode, so it can kind of pick up when I need it. Let me put you back here. Hopefully you'll be able to see me there. So anyway, as you can see, it's quite aesthetic. It looks very clean in a home. Usually I've got it in like a corner here, downstairs, and up in my bedroom. Here, it's very quiet. But if I put it on, say, number 3, I really like it in the bedroom because it's like white noise. The other thing that I wanted to mention as well is that I usually snore quite a bit. Occasionally I'll use mouth tape when it's pretty bad. And I have allergies, not to like pollen or anything like that. Unfortunately, it's to my dog. I do get him deshed and I get him groomed and washed and whatnot. But of course, they have the dander and the hairs and whatnot. And that usually affects me. Over the past 2 nights, now I know it's early days, that's why I want to do a more detailed review in about 4 weeks' time. I have not been snoring. I haven't been waking up with like a dry throat or dry mouth or sore throat. And as my wife has mentioned, I have not been snoring. The only difference I have made is bringing in this Jaspr. Um, by the way, I'm not sponsored by Jaspr or anything like this. It's like when I did a review of my reverse osmosis and remineralizer. I'm not sponsored by that company, but we do think about how clean our water should be because of endocrine disruptors, because of fluoride, because a lot of contaminants and like I said, endocrine disruptors, estrogenics. We don't think so much about the air quality in our home when we should, because we have lacquers, we have paints, we have acids, and then we have mycotoxins, mold spores that we do not see that are neurotoxins. And this is one of the reasons why I really wanted to get this in here. Even though I was quite confident there's no mold here, I did suffer from mold toxicity that I was diagnosed from in 2014, 2015, from a place that I was staying in. I had no idea what was wrong with me. I just wasn't sleeping at night. Everybody has different symptoms. That was my symptom. And it took me a long time to detox after I was diagnosed with it. And now I'm very conscious of coffees that I drink. If I drink a certain wine, is it biodynamic? Is the coffee mycotoxin free? Has it been tested for that? Is it shade grown? The grains that I consume need to be, mold spore free, etc., etc. So the air has to be very clean. Quite often, if you test the air inside your home compared to outside, inside is worst, would you believe? Because I said, we have mold spores, we have dander, we have, what are they called? It'll come to me. Not the bed bugs, what do you call them? It'll come to me in a minute. But we have these acids of paints, the laundry detergent. When the cleaner comes here on a Monday, they have been told to use natural cleaning produce, but not everybody does that. And you have to be conscious of these things. Like I said, there's wildfires, there's pollen. You can clean your air just by having something like the Jaspr, which has been compared to a lot of the top air filters out there, like the Air Doctor and whatnot. And this bad boy's been coming out on top. And that is why I decided to get this one, to ensure, of course, what we do that we take for granted, we breathe. We don't consciously think of it. It's something that is subconscious, but it's something that we need to be very conscious of. The mattress that we sleep in, because we spend so much time in bed, the water that we drink because we consume so much, the food that we eat, is it organic, grass-fed, wild-caught, humane raised, and the air that we breathe, okay? Anyway, when I just completed this ride, this 20-mile ride right now, I felt so much better as I was coming back than previous times since I got long COVID and the scarring of my lungs from the pneumonia that followed. And look, like I said, it's early days. I don't know if it's because of this, but I haven't been snoring the last couple of nights. My ride was so much better. I feel like I'm able to have more respiratory volume. And the only thing that I've changed is this bad boy. So I want you guys to I'm not saying go out and buy one of these right now. Just consider it. If your air quality is bad, if you have, some sort of respiratory issues, or you are worried about the air quality in your home compared to outside, you may want to consider this. Now, I live on the outskirts of Boise, Idaho. This isn't like living in LA or New York or Dubai, or I shouldn't say Dubai, Delhi, where the air quality is really, really bad. But it's something that I need to be concerned about. And it's obviously something that I should have thought about earlier, because of course I am feeling a difference already. I've had air filters in the house, before. I've already got air filters, but I'm comparing this now to the previous air filters that I've had before. And of course, maybe I've been a little bit naive to it. I've spoken to a couple of friends of mine, you know, like Ben Greenfield and whatnot, and it made me consciously think about getting one of these, and I'm so glad that I did. But I'm going to do another review in maybe 4 to 6 weeks, just to let you know how I've progressed. And I would have tinkered around with this a little bit more, so I'll be able to give you a bit of a more detailed review. But in the meantime, if you do have any questions, please ask in the comments below. If you like, please share.